Everyone, welcome back to Business Studies class. Today we'll start with a concept called risk. We have seen while we have differentiated three different economic activities, that is the difference between employment, profession and business. There we have taken a point of difference like risk, and there we have understood that the degree of risk will be more in business compared to your profession and employment. I hope you remember. So regarding that concept, we'll be trying to understand in a better way. Okay. So initially we'll try to understand what is this risk. The word risk is a general term which we use in our day-to-day life, isn't it? Everyone will be using this word. Then what it is in actual? So you can see the meaning here. It refers to a possibility of losing something due to uncertainty. See, when you have a chance of losing something, it might be particularly in terms of monetary things, we say it is a risk. For example, you are traveling through a particular road, and the road is not good, to be frank. Okay, it is in damaged condition. So when you travel through that road, there is a chance that you may undergo accident. Okay, there is a risk we see. Why? Because the road is not good and we don't know what may happen when we travel through that particular road. Means when someone undergoes accident, we will be losing many things. Our vehicle may get damaged, even we personally may get hurted. For that we have to spend money, isn't it? So all this means when you can lose something through that particular instrument, we say risk is involved in that. Is it clear? Certainly, when someone invests into a business, we know that how a business will be started through investing money, isn't it? So when we invest money and we know that business situation is uncertain, we don't know what happens tomorrow. Okay, so because of that, what you invest into the business, you may not able to yield, that is, you may not take it back. Hence we say there is a risk of losing your investment. So when you say risk, it means the possibility of losing your something is called a risk. When you don't have anything to lose, we say no risk at all. I say in employment almost we say no risk, because you didn't invest anything. You will work for a month and you will take your salary, isn't it? In profession we say there is some sort of risk, very less risk, but not high. But in business it is not like that. The investment what you have made, entire investment you may lose because of some of the things. So that part of losing something we call it as a risk. In the same way, when you are transporting goods from one place to another, there might be a problem of theft. Someone may take your goods when the goods are in transit. They might be stolen. So we say that is a risk involved in that. Is that clear? When you lose your goods, you are losing the worth of goods, means your money someone has stolen. That is what the risk means. So simply you have to understand a risk in the sense a possibility where you can lose something. If you have a situation where you don't lose anything, we say no risk at all. Because I didn't invest anything, I don't have anything to lose here, so we say no investment at all or no risk at all. Is that clear? So this risk is of many types. So I hope you got the basic meaning of risk. When we get into the topic, you will be understand different types of risks we have. As you can see here, we have internal risk, external risk, speculative risk, static risk, insurable risk, non-insurable risk, pure risk and dynamic risk. So total 8 types of risk you have. You can make it a pair. Okay, you can make it a pair like internal and external. So that is not written in an order, I mean in a paired way, you can make it out. Like first and second, internal and external risk, then insurable and non-insurable risk, then speculative and dynamic risk, okay, or speculative pure risk, then static and dynamic risk. Those are like opposite. Internal and external are opposite. Insurable and non-insurable are opposite types of risk. Similarly, static and dynamic risks are opposite. Speculative and pure risk may not be opposite, but you can make it a pair. If you remember in that way, you are able to remember only 4, so that you can write 8 types of risks. As per our syllabus, we don't have detailed explanation for this, but also I'll try to explain this, because basic idea you should have. So try to make it in a 4. Okay, internal and external, speculative and pure, static and dynamic, insurable and non-insurable. Total 6 types of risk. You make it pair and make it as 4 types of risk. That can be asked for 1 or 2 marks. You should be able to write. Good. Internal risk. As I said, internal and external types of risk. When a risk arises due to the issues of an organization, we call it company, we call it as internal risk. If it is because of some external factors outside the organization, we call it as external risk. Example, something you have stored in your warehouse, someone has stolen that. Okay, that is your company problem. You didn't provide right security to your warehouse, hence goods are stolen. That is what your internal risk. Okay, one of your employee has done forgery signature and some money has been withdrawn from your bank account, your company's bank account. So by whom it is done? It is done by the employee. So it is an internal risk. If it is done by someone who is not at all related to your company, that is called external risk. Similarly, because of some climatic condition, because of heavy rainfall, okay, because of that such a problem, your transportation is not doing good, means you are unable to transport goods from one place to another, hence you are unable to make the sales. So that is one of the problem, that is called internal risk. Why? Because you are unable to sell, and that climate condition is an external risk. Is it clear? In that way, if the risk arises due to the company problems, we call it as internal risk. If the problem arises because of the outside of the problem, like economic problem, social problem, see, because of political change, political parties change, one government and another government, taxation rates has been changed. Because of high taxation rates, you are unable to sell the goods into the market. Okay, that is the situation. So we say it is one of the external risk, because of high taxation you are unable to sell the goods. Okay, hence you are facing the loss. So that is the risk arises due to external political condition, economic condition. It is not from your company. So those are called your external risk. Okay, then come to the second one, that is insurable and non-insurable risk. Some risks can be insured and some risks cannot be insured. For example, I told you, you kept goods in the storage and they were stolen. Okay, now that is one type of internal risk. Okay, so this risk can be converted into insurable risk if you have taken insurance for your goods which you have kept in warehouse, or the goods which you are selling through the transit. Sending through the transit. For example, if your goods you are sending from one place to another, in middle because of accident the goods are damaged or someone has stolen the goods. So what you can do, for that goods you might take an insurance. In such case, what happen, if the goods are stolen in the transit, or if they have met the accident and they got damaged, the insurance company will pay you the risk, money what you have lost. So such risk is called insurable risk. If some of the risks which cannot be insured, as I said an example, one of your employee has made a forgery signature, he has duplicated your signature and withdrawn some of the money from your company's account. See, for such things you cannot make any insurance. So such risks are, but through that you will be losing money. That is sure. So such risks are called as non-insurable risk. In the sense, say for example, if employees goes for a strike, okay, your production activity, your work will be stopped. Okay, so there you will be coming out with loss. For that day you will be facing some loss of not getting a right work from your employees. So such risks cannot be insured. Is it clear? So insurance company does not provide safety for such type of risks. So such risks are called non-insurable risks. So it is clear, if you are able to make insurance for such risk, a particular type of risk, we call it as insurable risk. If you are unable to make it, we call it as non-insurable risk. Okay, then comes static and dynamic risk. Okay, static and dynamic risks are opposite. So dynamic risks are those risks which arises because of the dynamic situation of an organization. You have to understand that organization, that is business, apart from other profession like employment and profession, in business always there will be change. What is yesterday's business? It cannot be continued for the next 6 months. Something new should be come out with something new thing, innovative, creative. If not, the consumers will not accept. The consumers go with some other company where they are coming out with a new product. It happens. Hence, it is a compulsion for business that every time they have to come out with the new things. You can see different advertisements. Those advertisements what we have seen for last 6 months, we cannot see now. Advertisements gets changed. Why? Because see, nowadays all the advertisements we can see that one or the other way they are related with this corona. Why? Because that is the present situation. So immediately company people will use that for their promotion of the product. Are you getting that? In that way, business always has to change itself. It cannot be static. It cannot be as it was last 1 year. No, always it has to go with the changes. Why it is? Because the people expect change. The consumers, our taste preference always change. What our parents has expected, it's not same from our expectation. Our expectation is something advanced than our parents' expectation. What I mean to say is, business never exists in ever changing situation. Does not. I mean, it does not in static situation. It always exists in changing environment. That is what dynamicness we say. Always it has to go with the change. See, situations have changed outside, so people has to go out with the change. I mean, business has to come out with the change what people expect. That is what your dynamicness of the business. Always business conditions will be ever changing. Okay. So, what is this dynamic risk is, the risk arises through the dynamicness of the business. That is, I said, always there should be change in the business. Because of the change, risks arises to the business. Example, I'll tell you. You have purchased a machinery which is of a particular technology. You are using that. But you have used it for 3 months. Okay. And in the 4th month, people taste preference has been changed. Now you have to update yourself and you have to come out with the new product. In order to come out with the new product, you have to purchase new machinery. The old machinery is not usable to you. Is that clear? The new machinery you have to purchase where you have to invest money. The investment what you have made on that old machinery still you have not recovered, but now you have to go with the new machinery. That is one type of risk because of the dynamicness. Why you want to change the machinery? You want to go with new technology. Why you want to go with the new technology? People expect that. Is that clear? You might heard what is the BSNL. You might know that one of the issue of BSNL company, departmental undertaking it is. Okay. One of the issue that is they are unable to update themselves to the 4G and next 5G like that. Why? Because they don't have equipment. Because of that issue, it was reached to the peak stage that BSNL has to be closed, and employees protested that. I hope you know the issue. Okay, why it has happened? Because government does not have enough funds to supply to BSNL to change the equipments, technology. Hence what happens, the other networks has occupied. Nowadays we can see more than BSNL, we have private networks. BSNL is one of the government network, but we don't want to use that, but there may not be proper connection, network connection. But the other people, they have done that. Private people, like it can be Docomo or else then we have Idea, Airtel. All these have occupied the market because they are updating themselves. They are making investment. So one of the risk of BSNL is what? They cannot unable to come out with the new technology. Hence they are facing problems. Now they have reached a situation that they want to close. They have to close the BSNL company itself. So that is what the dynamic risks the business faces. Opposite to that is static risk. Static risk is a type of risk which arises though everything is okay. Is that clear? So dynamic risk arises because of the changes in the taste and preference of the customers. Where static risks are those which arises though there is no change in the people taste and preference. See, for example, this corona we can say, because of this what happened, though people have money, they cannot come out. Though they are interested to purchase a particular product, they don't want to go to the market because of the spread of corona. Are you getting that? So it is one type of risk to the business people. Why this risk has arisen? It is not because of the change in the preference of consumers. It is because of the change. Something happened naturally which is out of control of anyone. Is it clear? So it is called a static risk to the business. Nothing has been changed. Everything was going smoothly, but all of a sudden we have undergone lockdown. So many businesses has faced risk. That is a type of static risk. It is a type of speculative risk. It is a type of non-insurable risk too. Is it clear? Then comes your last type, speculative and pure risk. Speculative risks are those which can be estimated to some extent. Estimated. For example, initially I have given you example now. Like you want to travel through that particular road which is damaged, and you may, the one who moves with that road, there is a chance of getting accident. We see many times now there will be a boat, okay, called there they will be writing accident zone. They will be writing. Why they write that? Generally on that road many accidents might taken place, so they have given that board. So by seeing that board or by knowing about that board, we can speculate, we can estimate to some extent that okay, that type of risk I may face if I go in that way. So I should be equipped with everything so that I can minimize my risk, or I can go without any risk. The risk which can be estimated to some extent and can be controlled to some extent, we call it as speculative risks. Speculative in the sense what you can estimate, expect. Pure risks are those, they are not exactly opposite as I said. Pure risk is a risk where you have a situation of loss or no loss. Is that clear? There is a situation where loss or no loss. Yes, there is a situation. See, for example, you have invested money and you expect something. You didn't receive anything. So we call it as a loss. You have loss, that is you have lost what you have invested. For example, I have invested 10 rupees. Okay, sorry, you take it 1000 rupees. I have invested 1000 rupees. Okay, I got only 500. So 500 rupees of loss I have. Is that clear? This is a loss. No loss in the sense I have invested 1000, I have gained 1000. Is it clear? I have invested 1000, I gained 1000. That is no loss, no profit, to be frank. That situation we call it as no risk. No loss, but is also a type of risk, because when you invest, you have to gain something on that, but because of some situation, you didn't gain anything. So you cannot say that I lost something. No, you didn't lose anything, because you have invested only 1000 and you got 1000 back. So you are not in actual, you didn't lose anything. So we say, okay, it was no loss. Even you did not earn any profit. Is it clear? So it can be zero loss and zero profit situation. So if you are in such a situation, we call it as it is a pure risk, where it is a loss or no loss. Okay, this is about meaning and different types of risks. And next you have, what is the nature of this risk? How it will be? As I said, when you try to understand the nature, you have to understand the characteristics. When you try to understand the features, characteristics, we'll understand the nature of that concept. So we'll try to understand what is this type of risk is. It arises due to uncertainty. Why risk arises? It is due to uncertainty. I told you about speculative risk. So speculative risks are those which you can guess. So if you generally guess, what happens? Your degree of risk reduces. When you are equipped with everything to face the risk, your risk will be less. Your degree of risk will be less. For example, there is a chance of accident, so you make all the precautions and move in that road. Though something happens, your risk will be less, because you are arranged everything. Is it clear? So always, why risk arises? It is because of uncertainty. It means we don't know what happens. For example, everything you have arranged, you have equipped yourself with everything, but also there might be unseen situation in that particular way, and you may undergo with risk. We cannot say in business, we may not say what will be the situation. Okay, because of that uncertainty, a risk will be arises. There is no, I prepare that it will be like this, but who can guarantee you that it will be like this only? It can be like anything. Are you getting that? Hence we say risk arises due to uncertainty. Uncertainty in the sense no surety. The next, degree of risk varies. Yes, somewhere the risk will be more, some other time the risk will be less. Degree of risk always varies. It means sometime more, sometime less. Then it is an essential part of business, as every business will have risk. Hence we say that too the degree of risk in business will be high. And then reward for risk is profit. You might heard more risk, more profit. If you take more risk and prepare everything and you start facing your risk, you will gain the profit. So always reward for taking risk is profit. You can take your example. You may allot some more time to study. You may leave your enjoyment. You may lead your fellowship with your family members, your friends and all, and you keep on studying. That is what the risk what you have taken. You have left everything and you have started concentrating on your studies. And your result is what? Your good marks. Isn't it? The risk what you have taken, for that your marks will be the profit. So always when you take high risk, your profits will be more. So this is the nature of a risk. Then what are the different causes for risk? Why risk arises? It can be natural cause like natural calamities, human cause like the mistakes by the human being. I said forgery signatures and wrong operations of machineries, mismanagement. All these causes risk to the business. Economic causes purely outside of an organization, economic condition of an business like taxation rate, fiscal policies, government rules and regulations, law and order. All these cause your economic causes. Then other causes like what we can say, strikes, lockouts, okay, fire accidents. All these are called your other causes. So because of all these causes, risk arises into the business. And now most important thing, when we know it is an essential part, and when we know that if you face a risk in a right way, your reward will be profit. And how can I face a risk? How can I equip myself to face a risk? That is the most important question we have to learn, because we have understood that if you want to be in business, it's sure that you should be ready to face the risk. You cannot say that I want to do business but I don't want to take risk. No, you don't have such hypothetical situation. No, not at all. You have to face the risk. Hence, we have here 5 ways how the risk can be, how we can deal with this. Completely we cannot avoid it. No, it is not possible. You cannot completely say zero risk business. If someone says that zero risk business, he is 100%, he is lying with you. That's it. He is lying, that's it. Yes. So we have to learn and understand how the risk can be managed. Initially, by avoiding highly risky transactions. See, when you start thinking of something, thinking of doing something, if you understand that the risk is more, the chance of losing is more, then better quit that idea. Don't go with that. We say high risk, high profit, we say, but it does not happen with everyone. You might know that many those who invest in stock markets, they say high risk or more risk is involved in that. Why? Because whatever you invest, everything you may lose. There is a chance of losing everything what you have invested in the stock market. In the same way, if you follow Warren Buffett, there is a chance that you can earn 100 times more. There is a chance. But high risk, that is what high risk. It can be like this or that. Okay. So one of the way to deal with the business risk is better avoid highly risky transaction. If you feel that more risk involved, whatever you have invested, there is a chance of losing everything, then better don't go with that option. Don't go with that transaction. Leave it. Then second way is by making adequate provisions. When I say provisions, in accounts you might learn about bad debts, doubtful debts. Is it clear? Bad debts and doubtful debts. What are they? They are the provisions. Like for example, you have made a business of 1,000 rupees and you are expecting a profit of 500. 1,500 you are expecting back. There you will make a provision of 150. 150, I have to receive 1,500. In that 150 I may not receive. That 150 I will make it as bad debts. I may or may not receive. I will not receive bad debts in the sense I don't receive it back. And another 50 rupees I may doubt. This 50 rupees I may or may not receive. Provision. Aside I will keep. So though I expect 1,500, there 200 rupees are my provision. 150 for bad debts and 50 for doubtful debts. So I will expect only 1,300. Is it clear? In that way you have to make provisions for yourself. If you do like that, reserves and provisions, your risk will be reduced. Through insurance, we have learned wherever possible, make insurance for goods, for building, for human being health and all. Accidents may take place, so all those things better you go for insurance. What happens if things happens, if unforeseen things happens, the insurance company will take the responsibility, and they pay you the amount. You will not be in loss. That is, through insurance you can avoid almost, you can reduce your risk. And even through sharing. What is this sharing? In the sense, I said middlemen will be there. In wholesale trade and retail trade, we have seen there will be two types of middlemen, like wholesaler and retailer, isn't it? So what you can do is, you can share your risk to your middlemen. Like if you have come out with 100 rupees loss, so a part of loss you can share to your wholesaler and some to the retailer. For example, your profit margin is 5. Okay, your profit margin is 5, and your wholesaler profit margin is 2 rupees, and your retailer's profit margin is 1 rupee. So total how it is? 8 rupees. 5 plus 2 plus 1, 8 rupees is the profit margin for the product. Alright, so you have undergone the loss, and now you are not receiving a profit of 5 rupees, you are receiving only 3 rupees. Is that clear? Instead of 5 rupees, you are receiving a profit margin of 3 rupees per product. So what you can do is, you can cut down the profit of your retailer from 2 rupees to 1 rupee, and you can cut down the retailer's profit from 1 rupee to 50 paisa. Is it clear? In that way, your loss will be somewhat managed. Okay, everything no need to, you have to bear it. You have to make them bear. You make your wholesaler and retailer to bear your loss. In that way, sharing, your loss can be reduced. And the last way is through underwriting. Underwriting is a procedure where someone guarantees that if you are in the loss, it's me who is going to take that loss. Is it clear? Underwriting is that. You might learn about this surety. Someone gives surety when you want to take loan. Someone, if employees, generally government employees are asked to write for the surety, sign for the surety. It means if they are unable to pay the loan, it's me who are going to repay you. In that way, they give the in writing. They'll give. Underwriting is somewhat that. For example, it comes only if matters like issuing shares and debentures. That is a different issue we'll be discussing in future. But try to understand. Underwriting is giving some surety. You can make someone by paying. You have to pay to the underwriters actually. Being a company, you have to pay to your underwriting. If my company goes with a loss, it's you who has to pay back me the amount. In that way, you can make some arrangement. How it happens, why it happens, we'll see in future classes. Now you may not able to understand everything, but this is somewhat like this. Taking surety from someone. Okay, so in these 5 ways, you can avoid your risk and minimize your risk. So in this concept, we have seen what is risk, what are the different types of risk, why risk arises, what is the nature of risk, and lastly, we have come to know how the risk can be managed. So please go with everything. Notes will help you to understand in a better way. Go with the notes also. If you don't understand anything, or if you want to make if you want to have clarification regarding any point, you can just feel free to call me. Hope you do so. Till we meet in our next class. Take care. Bye bye.